Welcome to the Motocross Supercross podcast. Podcast.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Motocross Supercross podcast.
Episode 149. We are going into Phoenix, Glendale, whatever you want to call it, from the Arizona Cardinals Stadium, State Farm Stadium, actually, is what they changed the name to. But I'm Adam here with Claudio. What's up, Claudio?
Yep, State Farm Stadium.
That's right. And we got a big race this weekend. Obviously, we're indoors, and the track is massive. What we call it, the Beast.
Yes, the Beast.
Yeah, and when a track has its own nickname like that, you know it's crazy. But the track map looks sick. The videos I've seen from press day so far, it looks awesome. So I'm excited. And round 2, this race is always awesome. There's always good stuff happening at this race.
Yeah, it's a good race. Like we said, it's the Beast. This is the biggest on the championship. There's going to be very long start, very long laps, and it's going to be a fast track for sure. And I think the riders are going to like it. And this could be the point where we start to see who the actual favorites are. We know Eli Tomac won last year in this track, and I'm sure he wants to do it again, especially this early into the season. We're up for a good show.
Yeah, we are. And one thing I like about this track is the whole shot is like that first jump. It's like the first person hit that jump, which is really cool. I'm excited. We got 2 Yamahas winning in A1, Justin Barcia for the 450s, Colt Nichols in the 250s, and we're going to see if they can hold their own. But today is our predictions episode, and we're going to be talking about who we think will do good and maybe someone who won't do as good. Anderson.
Yeah, we had one round. We can't really jump into conclusions, especially with this stacked 450 class. We can't really say, oh, no, this guy's definitely a favorite. Justin Barcia, though, he has a big advantage on the rest of the field as he dominated the 450 class at Anaheim 1.
Yeah, well, you got to think Ken Roxon was right there. He was not far behind, and same with Eli coming through the pack, and even someone like Cooper Webb, who really came through the pack. I really want to see what he could do with a good start.
Yeah, and I want to see what anyone can do with this long straight. They mentioned how bikes can go even 4/5 gear. So I'm very excited to see the speed going into this first turn for sure.
You know who had some great starts last week was Malcolm Stewart. We didn't talk about it, but one of his starts that he pulled, he literally wheelied the entire start. And it was just so perfect.
If you're going to pull it off, might as well do it style, bro.
So maybe Malcolm Stewart is a name we'll be talking about getting on the podium. He was so close last week.
Yeah, Malcolm Stewart. We have
Dean Wilson,
who also had great starts. Joey Savacci, who was mentioned to be the best starter of the class. We didn't see that last weekend, but I'm sure we're going to see that this weekend on a dry dome track.
Yep, he fell in that same corner as a Cooper Webb in the main event. So it's a clean slate for him going into round 2.
Yeah, definitely one of the favorites. And again, as mentioned, Eli Tomac, who seems to really like this atmosphere in this track, and it really goes good for him.
Yeah, and now we talked about Jason Anderson getting 14th last week and had a decent start and really just faded the entire moto. One thing that I saw on his Instagram, he actually posted a riding video, him riding. So I don't know. Do you think Jason Anderson can break the top 10 this week? That's a crazy question.
It really is. It really is because on our preview look into Anaheim 1, we talked about, those guys that were in the press conference, and, they mentioned like, hey, there's 11 guys right here. Think about, one of you is not going to be in the top 10. There was actually several of them who weren't in the top 10. But, yeah, Jason Anderson with a 14th place, he's got to do better this weekend if he wants to prove that he's a contender for a repeat or, for this championship.
Yeah, but it's just so it's not like he fell in the first corner and then he caught up to 14th or fell in the middle of the moto. He started up front in that race and faded all the way back to 14th, and that's concerning. So I think he has the most to prove out of all the riders going into the second round.
Yeah, I don't know if the most to prove, but definitely have to prove himself. A 14th is definitely not acceptable, especially if you are the defending champ.
If he does that again, like, it's almost like his championship is over. It's like
Might as well. If he doesn't get top 10, even top 5 this weekend, it's not looking good for the Rockstar Husqvarna team for this year to repeat the championship, especially with no Zach Osborne either. You can't have Dean Wilson, the guy that you guys just kicked out, do way better than your defending champ and factory rider.
Yeah, and speaking of Dean Wilson, having to cover up his Ignite sticker, the CBD oil, and just the more I think about it, that's so messed up that they would make him do that. Because you think about the title sponsor, the Supercross, Monster, and I think Monster will jack you up more than CBD oil. That's for sure. You can give CBD oil to like dogs and like grandmas and stuff. You give a Monster to them, boom, it's over.
I guess the defense that NBC put out there was that they're not very sure on the regulations with that, because Ignite is not just CBD. They also do the company does like marijuana or cannabis selling, or and so they didn't want to have any type of problem with the different states, how it's different in every single state and the regulation and the exposure of it. They weren't really sure about it, so they didn't want to risk it by letting that to happen, or so they were just like, you have to cover it, which I think, if you want to put it that way, it's kind of makes sense. It's still messed up because it's one of your sponsors. So if you're sponsored by, I don't know, Magnum condoms, you can't do it. Like,
no, it's messed up because even if, let's say someone in Arizona, I don't know if it's legal or not legal there, but let's say someone in there, they see the Ignite logo on Dean Wilson's bike and they want to buy it, but still they can't because they're in Arizona. If it's not legal there, they're still not going to be able to buy it. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. That's
what they trying to say. I mean, it doesn't really make sense, but it also doesn't not make sense. Make sense?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You just think about some of the sponsors on this bike. I forget which team it was last year. It might have even been the IB Corp team. They had like some big like tractor equipment like sponsor or something. It's like, not everyone's going to be buying tractor equipment. It's just like not everyone's going to be buying CBD oil or whatever. So it was just shady. That's just some backroom dealing. That's just politics for you right there. Yeah,
exactly. And that's exactly what it is. Just NBC being a business and being, just politics right there. You're exactly right.
Yep. Well, anyways, we also got some news here on Jeremy Martin. He put a video on his Instagram saying that his back surgery went well and they had to take out all the old hardware and put in all new hardware. So it's just like starting from, square one. So that really sucks. But I guess if they did it right and it's good, then I guess that's really good.
Well, that's what they said the first time he went in. They were going to go and do that and make it right the first time. I feel like the problem was that he rushed it it was too quick. Like we talked about, he was out skiing and riding bikes and all this stuff when, a back
it didn't heal at all.
Injury.
He said it didn't really even heal at all. He's out there skiing.
A back injury is serious stuff. And I don't think he'll be doing any of that anytime soon. Yeah, he posted a picture of him with like a torso brace. And it says, "Big step this afternoon, got out of bed and walked the halls."
All right. We have more back injury news. Brandon Shar, he says, "For everyone who does or does not know, I've been in the hospital for over 24 hours now. I had a practice crash yesterday, resulting in 2 broken bones in my back." So another rider who's out for this season.
Yeah, I guess he's not requiring surgery.
But yeah, remember how last year everyone hurt their shoulders and stuff?
Yes. It was right before this race, too.
Well, it was this race, right?
No, it was before this race, because this race was, I believe it was 4th round last year.
Yeah, and if you would remember, Eli hurt his shoulder like at the beginning of the season, and then actually a couple weeks in, I forget which race it was, Dean Wilson was actually ripping, and he tried to like wheelie over some little double before the triple or whatever, and just like went into the face and hurt his shoulder. And then like halfway through the season, Marvin hurt his shoulder. So that was the shoulder year. It looks like this is the back year. Everyone's having back injuries.
So far, yep.
Yep, so that's how it's going so far, but hopefully no more injuries. I hope we can make it through Glendale nice and safe. Turns out there was a couple crashes that weren't really talked about as much. One was Cameron McAdoo. I remember seeing him in the race with like a broken or without a visor, but then someone posted the little sequence of his crash. It was pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it was, and I'm surprised that this was not talked about at all. And if it was, I'm surprised that we missed it. I mentioned to you off the air how blown my mind was whenever I saw the sequence. I was like, wow, I didn't even know he crashed. Like, wow.
Yeah, they didn't talk about it. And so maybe that's on NBC there. That's on Ricky. Ricky's got to fill us in on the crashes.
Yeah, what's up, Ricky? Come on, man.
Let us know. And another person who crashed was Justin Starling in the practice. He crashed and wasn't sure if he was going to race Phoenix. And actually, his team, the Gas Monkey AJE Motorsports, they're based out of Phoenix. So, well, anyways, he rode press day and he's going to race. So he's in.
Yeah, he was questionable for this race, but I guess, yeah, they couldn't miss this race. It's a hometown race, and I know there's going to be a lot of followers and a lot of fans, and there's going to be a big after party too. So I'm sure they didn't want to miss it. Somebody else from the same team, actually Dylan Merriam, was questionable for this race as well.
Yeah, he went down twice. He went down hard, once in the heat race and in the LCQ.
Yeah, he went down a couple of times, but he is in for this Phoenix race as well. He had, like you said, 2 big crashes in Anaheim 1. Nothing was broken, thank God, but he is up and he will be there this weekend. So good to see that for sure.
Very good, very good. And one other thing about this race is this is the first of 8 futures races, which is the amateur races on the day after the Supercross. I think they'll cut down to the track a little bit, and they'll have like a whole little amateur series going on. So this will be the first one of those, which is exciting. We'll have to wait. We'll have to see if any big names show up or who the big names are. We went to the one in Tampa last year, and it was mostly like local people. So
yeah, there was a good crowd, and I feel like that's what they're aiming for, just to bring the different areas of the United States or regions of the United States and make them race and give them that experience of Supercross, of racing in a stadium. Obviously not full of people, but in a stadium with a big crowd and yeah, we noticed in
stadium.
Tampa last year how they cut down a bunch of the jumps and changed a couple of the
like they took that whole sand section out that they had in Tampa.
Yeah, they made like a double or something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, if it's your dream to race in front of an empty stadium of people, you should definitely do it.
Yeah, it was definitely a cool event. It definitely gave you the full experience of what these guys go through on a Saturday night. But like I said, obviously without the full stadium, but it's a great opportunity for young riders to start getting into the sport and seeing if this is what you want to do.
Yeah, I was just saying I wish there was more big amateurs who do the whole circuit. But
I'm sure there's plans to do that. It's just not yet. How they used to have to go through Arena Cross to get their points to for the pro license and race Supercross and all that.
Yeah, I thought
I'm sure
this
that's
was
what they're trying to get at with this.
I thought this was supposed to like replace Arena Cross. I thought that was going to be what the whole thing of the futures was this year, because they added so many more races.
And that's exactly my point. We started with just Daytona. Then we went to 4 races. Now we're up to 8 races. And I feel like maybe next year we'll have like an actual championship that the A guys can follow and do.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll wait and see. We'll try and keep everyone updated on those results and what happens there. But let's go ahead and start making some predictions. Let's start with Anderson.
Okay.
Where do we think Anderson will finish? Top 5? Top 10?
He has to finish top 5 if he wants to, 1, get a shot at this championship, and 2, if he wants to prove to everyone that he's worth fighting for this championship.
And what about Dean Wilson and Malcolm Stewart? They started off so good, but finished just off the podium.
Those two guys, they have to go out and prove. Dean Wilson has to go out there and prove that he's worth of a factory ride, and he has to prove to Husqvarna team that they made a mistake to not give him a ride this year. And Malcolm, he just has to go out there and prove that he could be a contender to this championship as he showed last weekend. This is the first year he's doing the full season, so he has to give the people what they want. Give the people what they want. Manja, manja, manja.
And one person who was our fastest qualifier last week, Blake Baggett. Where do we think Blake Baggett stands this week?
Blake Baggett disappointed me last week. I'm sure he ran into a couple problems or just, plain bad luck. But he needs to step it up. He needs to see who's the fastest.
He did. He was the fastest in qualifying. He was.
We'll see. So it goes back to what they were talking about preseason, how he throws fast laps on practice tracks, But the real deal is you have to do it in the main event.
All right. So what do you say we jump in here and start making some picks, some of our own picks? Let's start with 250s.
Okay.
Last week we had Colt Nichols win his first Supercross race ever. He's going to be coming into this race with the red plate. In second place, we had Dylan Ferrandis looking really good as well on the Yamaha. So it was a good week for Yamaha, obviously. And then in third place, we had Shane McElrath. And then right behind him was RJ Hampshire. Cincerulo got fifth. Marchbanks was sixth. Dakotas seventh. Jacob Hayes, the Arena Cross rider, got eighth. The other Arena Cross rider, Chris Blos, got ninth. So let's see. We're doing top 3 for 250s, and we'll do top 5 for 450s. But do you want to go first?
Sure. For the 250 class, well, last year's winners was Aaron Plessinger, who moved up to the big bike.
Yep.
Or to the 450 class, to the main...
The premier
class, as they call it. And second place was Shane McElrath, and third place was Adam Cincerulo.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Cincerulo came from a good race. He had a little problem with RJ. I don't think we're gonna see Nichols winning it. He surprised me though the most last weekend by not letting off and winning, dominating the race.
Yep, start to finish.
But I don't think he's going to be able to do it this weekend. I think Shane, Adam, even Dylan, they're going to step it up, and they're going to show that they can be in the top of the podium as well. For my third place pick, I'm actually going to pick RJ.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm going to get McElrath second. No, Adams and Cirulo second, McElrath for the win.
Oh, all right. I like that. I think that would be cool if we saw that. I'm going to go with Dylan Ferrandis to get third.
Okay.
And Shane McElrath to get second. And then I think Adam Cincerulo takes the win this week. He was clearly faster last week and just kept... If he just tones his speed down just a little bit and just works on his consistency, I think he'll win pretty good.
And that's the thing. And I mentioned it. He's great. He's a great rider. He's got the skill. He's got the talent. He's got the speed. He just needs to keep it together. He needs to just put some solid 15 minutes, and he has it.
And there it is. That's our 250 picks. Let's go ahead and pick 450s. So last week, I picked Cooper Webb to get fifth, and he got fifth.
Good for you.
I picked Ken Roxon to get second, and he got second. So, I mean, I don't know. That's not great. I got 2 out of the 5, right, like that. But... I'm going to do it again. I'm going to pick Cooper Webb to get fifth because I like how he's been riding recently. And Dean Wilson, I'm going to pick him to get fourth.
Okay, so he's going to get fourth again. Okay.
Yep. And then my podium is kind of just how they finished in Anaheim. But I'm going to have Roxon getting third, Barsha getting second, and then Eli Tomac getting the win.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the favorites to win this. So you have Tomac, Barsha, Roxon third?
Yep. Wilson in fourth, and then Cooper Webb in fifth. But as you can see, no
Okay.
Anderson, no Baggett, no Malcolm, no Seeley, who we haven't really talked much about. But maybe he's getting better and better each week. You have to think last week was his first time on the bike since that race in Tampa. So maybe he gets one under his belt and he comes out swinging this week.
Me, I'm gonna change a little bit the things right here. Last year, the podium was Eli, Barsha, Roxon.
That's just exactly how I picked him.
Yeah, that's how they finished last year.
That would be crazy if the same three, if the podium happened 2 years in a row like that, right?
It could.
But wouldn't that be crazy, right?
Yeah, and it can happen. Justin Barsha against swinging. He's got a great start. Roxon, who seems to be better than ever, like nothing ever happened, as he says. And then Eli, who's everyone's favorite to win this championship. Yeah, it could definitely happen 2 years in a row, and it would be crazy if it happened.
Okay.
I'm actually going to give Roxon the win this weekend.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think he's going to step it up. As you mentioned, he finished right there with Barsha. They had a great race. Anaheim won. So I think Roxon's going to keep it together for this race and get the win. Eli's going to finish second, and then Barsha's going to finish third. For fourth place, I'm going to put...
So we got the same people on the podium, basically.
Yes.
All right.
I'm just changing it up a little bit. For fourth place, I think Aaron Plessinger will step it up. And then for fifth place, I'm gonna give Jason Anderson an opportunity in my picks.
I was wondering if Anderson was gonna make the top 5 in any of ours, but you're saying it's do or die for him right now. He better make the top 5.
I think so. I think he needs to take advantage of this long track and take advantage of a new weekend and do it. He needs to finish up there. So yeah, that's gonna be my top 5 for this weekend.
Awesome. Well, that's our picks. Go ahead and send us yours on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. You can find us anywhere at MXSX Podcast. And is there anything else you want to add to this one?
No, I just want to thank everyone for listening, for telling your friends, to tell their friends, and for all the support that we've been getting this year so far. It's been great, and I cannot wait to show you what we got for the rest of the season.
Peace!